Quick question for you guys. Have you ever been put in the friend zone before?
Or maybe have you been the one to put somebody else in the friend zone?
Okay, so TBH, I've been in both of those situations before, and it can feel kind of awkward, a little bit cringy.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
And we know that some of you guys have also been in similar situations, so that's why we're making this video. In fact, we actually had a teenager send Best Choice a DM on Instagram a couple weeks ago, specifically asking how to handle the whole friend zone situation. So with this video, we're gonna discuss how to handle that and also just like reasons why people friend zone to begin with.
Right. Like maybe you were talking to someone and you guys were really vibing, and then all of a sudden they just like gave you the ick and you were like, immediately no, friend zone.
It's
right
like
away.
that sometimes.
And like speaking of the ick, you know what gives me the ick, Kayla?
What does, Tabi?
When people watch our videos and they don't subscribe. So please, don't give us the ick. Just go ahead and subscribe.
And like while you're at it too.
For our first one, this is kind of like the most obvious and basic one, but it's just that you realize you don't like them.
Pretty straightforward, okay? But this next one is maybe you do kind of like them, but you aren't actually in the same crowd, you don't have the same friend group, maybe you don't think that person is like popular enough for you, or you don't want to be seen with them because it might affect your reputation.
Number 3, you did like them, but as you got to know them, things kind of changed.
Fourth one is also very straightforward. Maybe you start liking someone else.
Maybe you didn't even really like them, but you realized you were kind of just using them. Like maybe for attention, to get back at your ex, maybe for clout, that sort of thing.
The final reason we came up with is maybe you did actually like them, but you realize that you don't have the same values or priorities, so you actually would not be a good match long term.
So a lot of these reasons are actually like real, legit good reasons to friend zone someone, but some of them are actually kind of shallow. So when you're going to friend zone someone, it's really important to check your motive and reason why you're doing that.
Yeah, because if it's kind of a shallow reason, like if you realized you were just kind of using them or whatever, you probably owe that person an apology to some extent. So I know these kind of conversations are really awkward and kind of scary sometimes, but if you've been like hanging out with someone, talking to someone, leading them on, the least you can do is be honest with them. And so you're gonna actually have to take that mature step to communicate, be honest with yourself and be honest with that person, because at the end of the day, this should be a learning experience for yourself and for the other person. If they know kind of what went wrong, then they can move forward from that too.
One more piece of advice for if you are going to friend zone someone is don't leave room for hope in the future. Like avoid the for right now or maybe someday will be different.
Sometimes we leave a little bit of room for false hope just because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings,
Right.
But that's actually just going to hurt them later down the road if they think there's still a chance. So if you really mean this and there isn't a chance for something in the future, then you need to be honest. You can be honest without being mean about it. You just got to check your tone and the words that you're using. It is possible. I believe in you, okay? And then something else to think about is if you really mean this, then you need to respect that decision and probably set some boundaries. So like if you're going to be just friends, don't act like you're dating still, because that can be very confusing, okay? So this actually reminds me of the DM that we got from a teenager. So we're actually going to read that situation to you guys and then offer some advice on how to handle it if you're the one being friend zoned. All right, so this is a DM we got on our Instagram account for Best Choice. Shameless plug, go follow, okay? But I'm just gonna read it to you guys because it brings up a lot of really good points, okay? So this teenager said, "Hi, can I have some advice? So I've been talking to this person for 4 months and we both liked each other. We were planning on dating, but then they stopped liking me. They reached out and asked how I was. They said that they wanted to be friends, but I'm afraid I'm gonna like this person even more. And they said that they don't see a relationship in the future. So I'm really confused on what to do because I want to be friends with them, but I'm also afraid of becoming too close with them."
So not gonna lie, I feel like this DM was actually pretty relatable.
Yes.
Like whether you've been put in the friend zone or not, we're gonna give some pretty good advice that you just might wanna hold on to, and it's gonna be probably pretty valuable in the future.
The number one thing that I want you to keep in mind is that this is not a reflection of your value. We are not made to have a romantic connection with everyone. Like that is supposed to be something that is more rare. So I want you to try and shift your mindset to view this as actually a gain, not a loss. This is something you can learn from, and it's just one step closer to actually finding the person that you are supposed to be with.
Our next piece of practical advice is to set boundaries, which kind of brings us back to that DM where this person was pointing out the fact that they are just not sure if they can still be friends with that person, like if they would still like them. So it's really important to acknowledge what you can handle, because you may need to set some space, or you just might not be able to be friends with that person, and that's okay.
Our final piece of advice is to avoid just jumping into the next relationship. Sometimes when our feelings are hurt or when we're let down by someone, we kind of want to just like avoid feeling that hurt. And so we look for someone else to fill our attention so we don't actually have to dwell on our pain.
We got that rebound.
Exactly, yeah. So we don't want that rebound, right? Actually take time to be honest with yourself, sit with your feelings, and actually work through that so that you don't end up bringing like baggage into your next relationship.
So that kind of wraps up what we have for you guys today. But if you have more questions, or maybe want us to like elaborate a little bit more on something, leave it in the comments, because we want to know. And honestly, we are here for you guys and what you want us to talk about.
Exactly. And also, maybe you are kind of talking to someone or in a relationship, you're not quite sure if it's going to move forward. Maybe you're considering the friend zone, but you're just not sure. We need you to watch our green flags video. That will help you determine if your relationship is actually headed in the right direction.
Or maybe you kind of are struggling and want to ghost someone. We have a video on that, and you should watch it so that you know why not to ghost a person.
And while you're at it, while you're checking out our other videos, you might as well hop on over to our Instagram and our TikTok. Give us a like, give us a follow, drop some comments, share it with your friend, do all the things, okay? So that's all we have for you today, though. We'll see you later.
See you next time.